Well, you saw it right there. It's Mega Makeover Week here on Twin Cities Live. And to kick us off, we have an amazing transformation to share with you today.
Yeah, 32-year-old Anna Cheney of Brooklyn Center suffers from androgenic alopecia, or female pattern thinning, which is more common than you might think. It actually affects about 30% of women by the time they're 50 and up to 75% of women 65 years and older. Joining us now is Vern Cole, owner of the Hair Restoration Institute of Bloomington. Welcome back, or welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming in.
It's good to be here.
Good to have you. I understand, I was talking to Anna a little bit before the show. I understand that her situation is really unusual. It seems that she kind of lost that hair in a lot of hair in a very short period of time, huh?
It's really not that unusual in that I would say probably 70% of the women who experience hair loss, it's because of this androgenic alopecia, which is they have an excess of a hormone, and the hormone attacks the hair follicle and shrinks the blood supply. So there's more to it than what you think. We're seeing it. Hers is a little bit unique in that she's a little bit younger. Sometimes it's pre-menopausal, and most of the time post-menopausal.
You know, speaking, you deal with people all the time that are kind of going through this, but more so to Anna's story. How does thinning hair, especially for women, affect somebody's life?
Well, I would say, it goes back to biblical times where they talk about that a woman's hair is her crown of glory. So, when you really think about it, hair is the predominant feature, I think, that affects the person's appearance. And why is that? Because it frames their face. So even more so, I think, than makeup and clothing is really the hair. So if you buy into that, not only does it affect their appearance, but how they feel about themselves.
And it just doesn't sound like it should happen to women. I mean, people are kind of used to seeing guys like that, but I think with girls it's really hard.
Exactly.
And for her, not feeling good about herself also came from the fact she was getting some negative comments from people that she knew, and some customers of hers too. People coming in. I guess she worked at a high-end retail shop, and people
would come in and
didn't like the way she looked. And would complain about it, and also that she sent family photos one time to her boyfriend and to his family. And said, "What's wrong with her?"
So what we're seeing here, here's a couple pictures of Anna. Is that pretty typical with the allogenic?
It is. It starts usually, women don't lose hair like men do. Usually it starts to thin up in this area here. It can creep down into the sides and eventually into the back. So it's more of a diffused thinning than like a man can have a receded hairline and lose everything on top of his head. Where a woman, it's just more of a diffused thinning.
So what do you do? When Anna comes into you, what did you do for her?
Well, we sat down and we met with her, and we diagnosed, her situation. And she had told us her story that she had been down the route of going to dermatologist, and she pretty much tried everything. She started, using Rogaine, and that really, it was incomplete in itself, and it was not really user-friendly. It made her hair and her scalp look more greasy and wet, and it exposed the scalp even more. So we sat down, we analyzed her situation, and we did a microscopic evaluation to kind of get an idea of if this was something that we could treat, if it was going to be a surgical response or if it was going to be a non-surgical response, or some therapies and treatments that would help her.
Decided on the non-surgical side of it. Can you walk us through what you did to her? I believe we have some video of actually the procedure. So what do you do when she walks in?
Okay, well, when she came in, that's Karen Moe, she's our consultant. She sat down with her and she went over, that's the microscopic evaluation. She's kind of looking to see if her follicles are open and if there's any debris clogging her hair follicles. You'll see probably that in a moment. It's pretty exciting to see. We have to warn people because it looks kind of scary when you see these little snaky things growing out of the head. You see that there?
Yep.
So, and it kind of helps us to, if they're going to go down the therapy and treatment route, it helps us to analyze their progress, to see if the hair is getting thicker and fuller, etc. Now that's me. I'm actually setting the stage to make we call this the contour analysis. We're making a mold of the top of Anna's head, and from that we're going to create this lens. It's called the dermal lens. It's a scalp-like membrane, looks and feels like a piece of skin. So the people who designed this, it literally takes 60 hours to implant human hair into this lens. It looks and feels like a piece of skin, and then we apply it directly to her scalp using an FDA medical solution.
So do you shave off the hair that she has there?
In some cases we do. In women, they might be a little squeamish about that. So we can apply it in a different, it's called the braided anchoring system, so that if for some reason they didn't like it, that's their exit strategy to not do this.
Just figure it out.
Yeah. This got to be can kind of be an emotional process as well. I understand she was crying a little bit during the process.
It was really more after. I mean, if you think of it, if you lost your hair and it was 8 years, and you're looking at yourself for 8 years with a lot of hair missing, and all of a sudden, one day, instant, you have hair. I mean, how would that make you feel?
Yeah, your whole life.
Yeah, it's hard to appreciate unless you experience it yourself.
Well, let's take a look again and see what you were able to do with Anna.
Okay.
Here again is a look at Anna before. As you can see, you're saying this is very typical in cases like Anna. And now, after one weekend, let's take a look at Anna now. Wow.
What a weekend.
Yeah, great weekend for you.
Thank you.
What do you think looking at yourself right now?
I love it. I mean, what wouldn't you like about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I am so happy. I'm so pleased with the way that I look, and the process was so easy, and it's painless, and it was so quick that I can't say enough wonderful things about Vern and about them.
The entire
It's
process,
great.
yeah.
I understand your family was pretty excited too. I think we have some video of that as well.
Yeah.
Actually, this is your boyfriend.
Your boyfriend's reaction?
Yeah.
Your boyfriend's
yeah,
reaction.
he was pretty excited. I'm a lot of hair.
Can I touch it?
Wow, this time today would have been.
Now that's what I have to ask you, Anna. What is it like running your fingers through it?
Well, it's so, I mean, it's just amazing because, of course, it's hair. It's real hair. It feels like hair. It feels like my hair. There's nothing different with it when it comes to the hair. That it's just so great.
And it looks, 100% like natural hair. It's
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Yes.
Now, Vern, may I ask you, what's going to happen now? Where do you take this, and how long will this actually last on Anna's head?
Okay, after we do the procedure, there's a discovery process, and we have them usually come back the next day because they're so overwhelmed with this new look, and sometimes they don't even know how to really wash their hair. So we have them come back the next day, and at the 10-day mark and at the 30-day mark. Two things that are going to happen as a result of this. Once we do this makeover, almost every time they don't want to go back. So we want them to know it requires two things. Periodically, it's going to require what we call service. This hair is the non-growing hair, but her own hair, this is why it's not a wig. We're utilizing a lot of Anna's own growing hair. So we don't want her own growing hair to outgrow the human hair, this lens here. So it requires periodic service, and sometimes, or really all the time, her physiological makeup, the oil and the amount of oil that her scalp secretes is eventually going to break down the grafting solution that we use to secure the hair. But she'll be able to see herself 24 hours a day with hair, and there's a huge value. She doesn't have to worry about what we call the 3 W's, the wind, the water, and wigs anymore.
Really?
She can go swimming, anything she wants with that
She
hair.
can live and look like she never lost her hair. I mean, if you look at her, if she puts her head down, it literally looks like it's growing right out of her head. The color of her scalp is protruding through the dermal lens, and it's human hair. It's her. It's a part of her. It's her accessory now. She's complete.
She looks fantastic. Let's take a look again. What it looked like before and what it looks like right now with Anna.
There's again a look at Anna's before, and now she is. Do you love looking at yourself, Anna?
I do. I love it. Who doesn't love that?
Exactly. Oh, well, thank you very much, and thanks for telling us all about this process.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Neat. Yeah,
thank
very
you.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you enjoyed the Hair Restoration Institute, they're going to be giving away 30 complimentary makeovers in May. For more information, just head to our website by going to ksp.com and clicking on Twin Cities Live.
Also want to thank Style Life for suiting her up in her outfit. They're located in Minneapolis and Edina, and also Revamp Salon for their great job on makeup as well.